And right now, the man who's running for Congress in the 5th Congressional District, trying to take out a longtime incumbent, it is Fred Thompson. Hi, Fred.
Hi, Bill.
How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
Well, I'm doing all right. I'm a little worked up right now.
I see that. I've been listening to you. I'm a little bit worked down. I've been up since 3 o'clock this morning, and I had to do a lot of paperwork, do a lot of stuff, a bunch of surveys going back to the East Coast, and just got back and listened to you on my way back from Woodburn. I had an interview there this morning, so it's just go, go, go.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. It was the Woodburn newspaper. How'd that go? What kind of questions did they ask? What kind of a form? What kind of situation was that?
Well, it was they were asking me about anything and everything. Asking me what's the difference between me and my opponent. They was asking me what I think about immigration laws. They asked me about what I see as the issues in not only Oregon but national. They asked me about national security. So it went on for an hour and a half. So it was a very very good interview. So I enjoyed it actually, and in fact, I enjoy all of them.
When's that? Do you know when that's going to come out for folks who live up in that area and can get that?
Oh, I think in about a week, I think, or within a week.
Are they like a weekly newspaper? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. So hopefully in about a week or so.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll look for that, the Woodburn newspaper. But let's talk about that for just a minute. Now, obviously, in a town like Woodburn, immigration would be a hot topic. Do you find that as you travel the district and find the different topics that are more important in different parts of the district, do you have to change your tune at all? Not tune. Do you have to change what you say, or is it just consistent all the way through, or do you adapt? How do you do that?
It's just the subject matter, Bill. Basically, everything that I believe is, I'm not what I refer to seminar trained, so everything I feel is what I've learned over time and what I see in the area. And you talk about immigration. Well, they had a an Hispanic fair here a few weeks ago, and I went to that and walked around and talked to the people and looked at what they were doing and what their concerns are, in fact, I was the only politician there that I know of anybody running for office, and I just try to do my homework all the time and try to look at it from the viewpoint of, first of all, I don't care what color your skin is or any of that stuff. It's just, are you an American? And what do we need to do in our communities to have prosperity? And so then that's basically my main focus is what do we need to do to get people to work? What do we need to do to control this government that seems to be, as you articulated from Gabe Brown, some of the issues that are out there that limit the ability for people to move forward, have jobs, have a life, and have the security. Next to this Woodburn Independent was a food share. So I spent about 10 minutes watching all the people going in there, getting something to eat, actually, going in there and getting groceries and bread and bananas and so on and so forth. And last week I spent some time at the Oregon Marion Polk Food Bank and talked to Ron Hayes there that runs that organization and asked him, what does he see in there? And I'll tell you, he told me, he said, Fred, we have not seen the peak yet. It continues to grow every month. People need more and more and more food. And it really comes back to, do they buy gas or do they buy food? And they have to buy gas, so they're going to the food bank. So there's a lot of issues out there that are people a lot of hurting, and our government certainly have turned their back on and not doing everything they need to do, because we are a natural resource state. There is no reason that we're going through this. No reason at all.
Do you, again, Fred Thompson, running for Congress, 5th Congressional District, trying to unseat, of course, the current incumbent Democrat. Do you see, as a congressman, you're representing a district in Oregon, you're representing Oregon, and, of course, you're, in a way, representing the entire country. How do you sort of make all that happen?
Well, Bill, I think what's unique about the 5th Congressional District is that it has the coastal areas there with the Tillamook and Lincoln, so they have their issues there. Then you've got the farming communities in the center, and then you've got, a pretty big industrial area up there in Clackamas, and then you got the seat of our government here in Marion County. So really, it's really kind of a small United States, so to speak.
Yeah,
we've got a little bit of everything here, and that gives you a perspective on exactly what not only your local issues but national issues. We've got security issues here too with the coastal areas, and then immigration issues. We have that. We certainly have timber issues, and we have issues that really touch every aspect of the American economy, and so that's I think that is what's unique about this, is because we're just not a one-trick pony here. We got a little bit of everything in this stable, and we just need to drill down and understand it all.
I was just going to say, okay, so we basically have about 50 days, approximately. It's either exactly or right around 50 days. Okay. People are saying, all right, I want my Republican candidates to start getting out the brass knuckles, and verbally, so on and so forth. You're a nice guy, Fred, and so I know that that's not something that you probably naturally would want to do. If you could, so to speak, if you sort of could say, look, I'm going to really come after this guy, what are the things that you would say? You know what I'm saying. What are the things that you could say that you can prove, that you can back up and say this is why you need to get rid of this guy?
Well, all right, and really, I'm a nice guy, and then sometimes I'm an SOB too, and I go on both sides of that. It depends on what the issue is and what you're referring to. All right, let's talk about $1.3 million that he's collected for his campaign. 60% of that comes from basically two areas of the country, Washington, D.C. and the state of Massachusetts. Now, the state of Massachusetts and Washington, D.C. is now controlling Oregon, because even he said during the City Club, campaign contributions, money represents free speech. So, he has a lot of free speech. In fact, I told him, why don't you write me a check so I have as much free speech as you have. So, is that really right? Is that really right? I'm not taking any PAC money. I only take checks from people, small checks, or the maximum $2,500, and I've had a few of those. But I just really want to represent the people of Oregon. And people told me when I ran for office, they said, Fred, you got to spend 90% of your time on the phone asking for donations, and then 10% of your time with the people. I said, I am not going to do that. I'm going to spend 90% of my time with the people and 10% of my time asking for money. So if that's the formula, how much time is he spending representing Oregon if he has $1.3 million? I'd say he's spending all his time out there collecting money. And why we have people here, we're spending $10 million a month, folks, in Marion County on food stamps, and that's absolutely wrong. Yeah. Where is our representation in Washington, D.C.? This man has not provided it. He's taken money away in 2009, 10, and 11 from Social Security. They didn't get their COLA. And just the 1st of September, Bill, which really, really irritates me, is they auctioned off a mill there in Dallas, Oregon. That's been there since 1906. And we've had 3, 4, 5 generations of wonderful people in Dallas, Oregon that have lost their jobs. Where was he to stand up and fight for that? He wasn't there. And I'll tell you what, Bill, I have done that my whole career. I have stood up and taken on these corporations and bought these facilities and turned them over to the employees and kept those people working. And I can prove every word that I just told you. That really irritates me that our families are losing their jobs. And I'll tell you, we don't have a voice in Oregon back in Washington, D.C., but by God, when I get there, you're going to have a very loud one.
There you go. That's what I'm looking for.
I'm going to fight for him, Bill. I'm going to fight for him.
All right, Fred, I'm up against the clock. That's what I'm looking for. That's it. A little fire in the belly. Fred Thompson for Congress, 5th Congressional District. Fred, we'll talk again next week, okay?
Fred Thompson for Congress.com. Thank you, Bill.
You bet. All right. There you go. See? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to hear from my candidates.